Bonjour people and welcome back to another review. This time we are looking at the 2007 leader class Nightwatch Optimus Prime, who was a repaint of the original leader class version for the Allspark Powers subline that was released following the movie. Prime here turns into the Peterbilt 379 truck that he was in the film, and yeah, this is a strange and quite exciting repaint of the original figure. His primary colour is this. What kind of shade of blue would you say this is? Aqua went through my head for a start, but I don't know colour shades. But anyway, he's blue, but fades into black and silver flames, and at first glance, you'd have to ask yourself, why make an Optimus Prime with these specific colours? Funnily enough, it works, and I don't quite know why. But gone is the traditional red and blue, replaced with this very strange choice of colour palette, but it works. In person, it looks quite nice, I have to say, and I'm giving you a 360 for truck here. Obviously, this is a leader class figure, so he's a big boy, and filming this is proving to be a nice challenge. He's an officially licensed truck. He is not the exact likeness of a Peterbilt. The Revenge of the Fallen successor figure to this pulls it off a lot better, and it pulls off its robot mode a lot better. But for a first go, this mould was decent for the time. He does end up being a bit blocky though, and you can tell that in the top of the cab here. You can tell it in the back here, and in robot mode you'll see he's very blocky. But again, it's a subject of the times really. This was 2007. I suppose what they might be trying to go for here is something akin to Ultra Magnus, who is traditionally seen as either a white or a blue version of Optimus. Make of it what you will. But he rolls superbly. He's on these really lovely rubber tyres. There's no obvious robot kibble present in the vehicle mode. He does have a lights and sounds gimmick, which after all these years still works, and I've never had to replace the batteries on him, not that I would even know how to. And really nice detailing, trailer hitch there. Bumper plate has some moulded detailing in there. Like I said, you've got the flames, you've got his Autobot symbol present on the front of the truck there. The grills are nicely moulded. Blue plastic for the headlights. As I said, rubber tyres. Sort of clear plastic on the windows, obviously for the light. You can see that illuminating there in orange LEDs. And this is his ion blaster, which we'll come back to in robot mode. And yeah, it's a pretty good vehicle mode, all things considered. You can see there's a bit of gappage here. That's because the tabs here and on the opposite side, they've broken off, and it's just a product of the way that he transforms. Inevitably, they will snap off. And unfortunately, that does cause a looseness there, but it can't be helped. So it's a decent looking truck mode. Now, with that all said and done, we will attempt to transform this guy. First of all, what you want to be doing is pulling these side bits apart, and it's obviously helped by the fact that my tabs are broken. Then come to the back and lift all that up, and then accordion all of this down. Obviously these are going to be his legs. We'll focus on getting them fully transformed first, just for the sake of the camera angle. When you split these, you also want to be splitting them at the back as well. The feet here feature this figure's automorph gimmick. You want to first of all slide the bumpers out a bit, and then you will be swinging them down. I just want to make sure. Okay, there we go. When you slide that out, that also lets the lights pop out a little bit. And then when you swing them down, the toes fold out. Flip that last bit back to fully form the heel. And then when you come down here, fold those bits back and up and they will form the kneecaps. And same thing on the other leg. Just get everything hanging down and then detach the waist and keep everything straight. So coming back up to the top here, we're going to take these pieces and we're just going to swing them down and leave them hanging. This is all for clearance sake. Flip those bits back up for now. Next, you want to come to the very top of the cab and split them. And that will allow you to swing all of this back stuff forward. Like that, and the fact that these bits are down, that allows them to swing around without any hindrance. Now we can come back to the back and rotate these side pieces up, taking these parts, swinging them all the way back and then folding them in against that cavity like so, and that's where they will stay. Make sure everything just plugs in nicely and neatly. We're just going to return to the legs momentarily. We're going to take the back halves of the truck and snap them into the backs of the legs after folding them up. Like that. And then we're going to continue with the waist area and we're going to complete pulling it all the way to the front and snapping that in place. Making sure to keep it plugged in as you bring the legs down. Now that you've got his legs fully sorted out, you want to be coming back to the arms, rotating these shoulder bits off to the side and then flipping. You can see this bit here, flip it up to continue the look of the shoulder. Come here, get your nails into that flap, pull it down, then rotate the fist out, fold that back up and then fold that back up. And then you can make sure everything's neat and tidy and straighten the arms, looking like that. Come to the fist, you can fold out the fingers, which are individually articulated, and fold out the thumb and get that into the correct position. And that's one arm done. Same on the other side. And then the last thing you want to be doing is his final piece of automorph, where there's a tab on his no-no spot, and you flick it, and you get lights and sounds and an auto-transforming chest with a head reveal. Lovely. So here we are. This is Leader Class Nightwatch Prime in his fully formed robot mode, and of course he's a big boy, hence why this camera angle is so wacky. But as you can see, the blue continues all throughout the body, more silvery grey becomes apparent. You've got this bronze that appears on his arms, more black highlights on his upper legs, and he has a very nice head sculpt. That's decent detailing. Obviously future figures have better head sculpts, but again, for the time, that's really good. But you could probably tell what I mean by him being blocky. In the chest area here, despite the automorph flaring everything out and bringing these side windows forward a bit, he still does have the profile of a brick. And his successor figure really managed to encapsulate the animation accurate model so much better than this guy did. But that's not to knock this guy, because he's still a lot of fun. He does have a hefty backpack of sorts, but then again his successor figure did as well. And because of the backpack, you can see that his posture is a little bit wacky, and having to try and compensate for the amount of weight that is on his back. Therefore, that means he's not the easiest thing to stand by any stretch. In terms of accessories, you can see on his hand here we have a gun, which you are meant to bring out a fire of this lever here, but you can just do it with your hand as well. But you bring the gun forward, and it also brings this smaller little gun out as well, his ion blaster, and it looks quite nice. It's not movie accurate at all, but it fits this figure. It's a nice little gimmick, nice little transforming feature there, and it fits really nice and snug on him. Looks rather cute, really. It has a firing missile, which we'll attempt to demonstrate now. And that's quite powerful. Slot that back in there, and There we go with that. In terms of articulation, Prime's head can swivel that far left and that far right. He can't go 360. He has a decent amount of articulation on his shoulders, only hindered by his back kibble. He can flare his arms out that far. He has double bend at the elbow. And yeah, his fingers are all individually articulated, so he could flip you the bird if you want him to do that. He has no waist articulation, but you can swing his leg out that far. You can pull it back that far. He can kick. He can kick really nicely. Really nicely. He has a bend at the knee, which can be helped by that bit swinging down. So that's his knee bend. His feet are on ball joints, and they are designed to give him maximum stability. In terms of a size comparison, here he is next to his fellow leader, Megatron. As you can see, they are indeed the same size, and they are both as chunky and as kibbly as each other. Going forward in time, that's Evasion Mode Prime compared to him. Stark difference. Evasion Mode Prime is a Voyager of a time where Voyager class figures were smaller than on average. So you can see the drastic level of change. And that's still the better figure, but don't tell that one that I prefer that one. Hush, nobody say a word, okay? Keep that between me and you. So that is Nightwatch, Optimus Prime. A decent figure on the whole. He's fun for the time that he was a product of, and compared to modern innovations of Transformers, he is inferior. But there was a time where I would have preferred to have this guy over the Revenge of the Fallen leader, because I thought that one was unnecessarily complicated. In retrospect, it's not. But that one is more sought after than this one ever will be. But on the plus side, this guy does come from the repaint subline, which kind of makes him a little bit more special than any other mass retail one. So if you ever do come across Nightwatch Prime, I would still recommend him, despite his flaws and despite him not being as animation accurate as his successors, despite him being blocky. He looks nice. He's got a very intriguing paint job. Whether it's superior than the proper Prime paint job, let's just say it's different. It's different. It's a good different, but it's different. And there we go. Yeah, pick him up if you see him, because he's got a decent amount of playability about him. So thank you everybody so much for stopping by and checking out this review. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video around to help out the channel. And until the next time, see you all later.